Hey everyone, it's Jen B, and welcome to my studio. In today's video, I'll be sharing how to resize a ring to make it smaller using this incredible sand cast ring. So let's get to work. I picked up this ring in a local antique shop. However, it is a modern day ring from the wonderful artist Chimney Butte. I had looked at this ring on multiple trips to the antique store and finally decided to get it since it kept calling to me. However, it was several sizes too big, so I knew that I needed to resize it. The first thing that I need to do is remove the stone and then whatever is underneath the stone. I knew that this stone had to have something underneath it because of the height of the bezel. Typically, turquoise stones aren't incredibly tall, and so since this bezel is very tall, I knew there was something supporting the stone. I'm using a couple of different dental tools here to gently loosen the bezel till I can safely get the stone out. I take some time to examine the bottom of the ring shank and decide where I am going to remove the metal. Since I am making the ring smaller, I need to remove metal. I could see where the previous solder seam was, so I'll use that and then make another cut. I'll put some marking fluid on the area to help me clearly mark where I need to cut with my saw. When resizing rings either up or down, the limit is really just about 2 to 3 sizes to maintain the integrity of the ring and the shape of the ring. For each size, either up or down, the ring shank needs to be adjusted by 2.5 millimeters. I need to make this ring 2 sizes smaller for myself, so that means I'll remove an area that is 5 millimeters wide. With my calipers, I mark off the 5 millimeter area that I'm going to cut out, and then use my jeweler saw to cut out that 5 millimeter space along the ring shank. I take some time to anneal the ring to soften the metal so it's a little easier to reshape. This particular ring was very thick metal because it was sand cast, and I actually needed to anneal it several times during the whole process. I used my ring mandrel and a nylon mallet to work on bringing the ends of the ring together. I really want to take time to make sure that they are perfectly aligned before I solder it. Over at the soldering area, I'm getting the ring set up to solder by putting it in some pumice. I like to use the pumice to bury parts that I don't want the flame directly on, like the little embellishments on the front of the ring. I get my flux applied, and then I'll use my soldering pick to grab the solder and apply it to the join. And then back over the bench to refine the shape on the ring mandrel and clean up the shank in the area that I soldered. I'm trying to make sure that I'm blending that area in so that it looks seamless, but I also want to try to keep the original look of a sand cast ring. And here is a nice close look at the resized ring shank. I have to say, I patted myself on the back at this point because it looked pretty good. I dunked the whole ring in a liver of sulfur solution and then used a radial disc brush to remove any excess patina. I used a blue radial disc brush to make sure I wasn't removing any of the sandcast texture. Finally, it's time to reset the stone. And here it is, all finished up, resized, and fitting perfectly. Resizing rings is a great skill for all silversmiths to have, and it can be done with just basic silversmithing tools. I will be doing a video in the very near future on how to resize a ring up in size as well. Thanks so much for joining me for this video. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to help my channel grow, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.